Many people are stepping through life believing that their story will always hold them back in some way. And I can totally relate because I have been there too, believe me. What I wish I had in those moments was a reference point, someone or something to help me believe that even the darkest parts of my story was shaping me into the person I was always meant to be. Nowadays, as a international speaker, entrepreneur, and husband to the most amazing woman, I've made it my mission to help you own your story so that you can live a life of impact, influence, and inspiration. I'm Winston Ben Clements, and this is Born to Win. Okay. First of all, I really hope that you and your family, your loved ones, your friends are keeping well at this time because I know it's tough out there. So so let's just keep checking in on each other, praying for each other and just encouraging each other at this time. And what's new with me? So I guess it's taken a bit of time, but I feel like I'm finally fully back into work mode after taking some time off for Christmas. And I guess in that time, and we tend to have these reflections over Christmas, especially going into the new year. One thing I wanted to really embed was to create some really healthy and solid habits and routines, especially when working from home, which I think is the reality for many of us right now. And one thing that I'm doing at the moment actually was my wife's idea, and then I decided to join her, is in doing a detox. So we're doing a detox until the end of January. So that means no takeaways, no red meat. Our diet is pretty much just veggies and seafood at the moment. So we do veggies and fish on most days. And I'm also trying to have like a structure around our daily routine as well. So I've been trying to wake up every morning. 6 a.m. is our wake up time. Although if I'm completely honest and transparent, there was a couple of days last week when we hit that snooze button. But it's proving to be a healthy habit to have. So if you want to jump on board, then feel free to join us. Just create a routine, create a habit that you want to embed, or just copy the ones that I shared. And we're going to keep doing it throughout January until the end of January, and hopefully beyond that. So if you want to jump on the challenge with us, then that would be amazing, and I think really beneficial for you as well. And so, like I said, this week, kind of first week back to work, and it's been quite a busy one, if I'm honest. And yeah, what am I doing? So I actually delivered my first speaking engagement of the year earlier today. And funny enough, I'll actually be working with the same client again tomorrow because they booked me to come back and do a workshop for the same organization. So I'll be back delivering that tomorrow. And then on top of that, I guess the other things that are going on is TLDM. So we're continuing to prepare for TLDM, which stands for Talk Let's Do More, which is a mastermind group that myself and my wife run. And we're kind of in like full prep mode because we're relaunching in a couple of weeks. So yeah, there's still quite a bit to do to get that program ready. And just in case, let me just go ahead and do a plug for TLDM. So, like I said, it's a mastermind, which, my wife and I, we co-created it a couple of years ago, 2019. And I guess the main purpose of it was to support entrepreneurs, particularly those who are sort of in the early phase of their journey. And we just support them, with business skills and strategies. And I think up to now, we've graduated over 30 entrepreneurs. I think it's 34. So it's been honestly one of the most incredible and most rewarding things that I've ever got to be a part of, and obviously makes it so much more awesome that I get to work with my wife on this one. And one thing about TLDM that people always tell us, even more than the the skills and all the business knowledge and strategies, the biggest thing that people tell us that they take away from TLDM, from being part of this mastermind group, is just the community aspect of it. And just the ability to be surrounded by a community of people who build you up, who push you to reach your next level. And I think that's community is such an important thing, particularly in the time that we're in, where things can start to feel a bit negative if you tune in to what is going on in the world. So having that community of people who encourage you and believe in you, has been a key for us and for people in our TLDM mastermind groups, just to keep pushing them forward in a time that could otherwise feel quite challenging and difficult, right? And yeah, I'm not going to bang on about it too much. I think what I'll do is, if you're interested, if you feel like this is something that you might want to check out, then the website is talklessdomore.co.uk. I'll also put the link in the show notes. And actually, because of the pandemic, here in the UK, we're not able to run live events at the moment. So the TLDM running in February will be running online. So technically, there's no reason why, if you're listening to this in another country, there's no reason why you should not be able to join, if you so wish to. So just check out that website, talklessdomore.co.uk, and if it's a good fit for you, then I look forward to catching you on, and welcoming you to our community and our TLDM family. Anyway, what I really wanted to talk to you guys about, in this episode, and I hesitated because I just realized we're on episode 10. Wow, episode 10, time flies so fast. But yeah, what I really wanted to talk to you about is a topic which I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I guess it's a topic that is really important to me, especially as a storyteller. And the topic is its influence, right? Wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about influence. And yeah, let's take it into the realm of like the media and social media. So we hear a lot about, influencers, right? Influencers are people who, they usually have a really big following. Some of them are on TV, some of them are reality stars, they are, social media personalities, celebrities, etc., right? But interestingly, I think that word influencer has developed a bit of a negative connotation, right? Because it's often associated with being, with almost the Instagram lifestyle. It can come across a bit pretentious. It can come across a bit of, portraying a perfect lifestyle, which, perhaps the average person might find a bit hard or a bit unrealistic to connect with, right? And so the term influencer has developed that negative connotation, right? So we all want to, we like the idea of influencing people, whether it's in business or, in developing relationships. But I think, or maybe I should speak for myself, I think there is a bit of a hesitation around being called an influencer, for those reasons that I just mentioned. But the truth is, if you have ever, and I suspect you listening to this right now, have done this, if you have ever used social media, then the chances are that you too are or have been guilty of I guess, falling in love or trying to portray this influencer lifestyle. I know I have, right? Because when it comes to online, for example, we only tend to post the highlights of a particular experience online, right? I'm sure it's not just me that's done this. if you go on a holiday, or you're in a relationship, or your business, we only tend to post the highlights of those experiences, of those moments, the champagne moments. That's what we want to post about. Nobody wants to post about, the boring stuff, the behind the scenes, the failures. We're more hesitant to share those moments publicly, right? And and actually, this reminds me of a quick story. So, kind of rewinding back a few weeks. So during the holiday season, my wife and I actually traveled to Dubai for a short break, right? And I know, this is like influencer capital, but honestly, this is a trip that we had been talking about and planning for a while, and for us, it was more to have a change of scenery after what was, an incredibly massive year for us, both, in our personal lives, in our family lives, emotionally, and just in our business. That there'd been so much change for us, and we're just kind of looking forward to disconnecting and switching off for a few days, a week or so. And actually, Dubai was one of the places we could travel, unrestricted during this time of pandemic. Anyway, so one afternoon in Dubai, one sunny afternoon, boy, I really miss the sunshine because it's really cold at the moment in the UK. Anyway, so we're by the pool, my wife and I just chilling out by the pool. And actually, I'll say chilling out. If I'm totally honest, we both had our laptops open. And I guess, when you love the thing that you do and you love the work that you do, it's kind of hard to switch off. So there were moments, even on holiday, when we kind of found ourselves doing a bit of work on the laptop. But on the whole, I feel like we managed to get a lot of rest. Anyway, so there we are, hanging out by the pool, doing a bit of work on the laptop. I suspect we were both having a cold beverage in our hands. So it was a nice day. And then I see this young lady. I can kind of see her in the distance, and it looks like she is approaching us. So she's approaching, I guess the sun lounges where we were just kind of like laying down, sipping our drinks by the pool. And so she's coming, and I guess in my mind I just thought, maybe she just wants to be friendly or whatever. It looked like she was approaching my wife, and so I just kind of carried on with what I was doing. And she came in, she spoke to my wife, and then the next thing you know, my wife and this young lady who had just approached us she pulled out her phone, this lady, and she sat next to my wife on the sun lounger, and she took a selfie on Instagram, which is fine. I mean, I was a bit confused because I didn't think they knew each other. So I was a bit confused as to why, she'd want to post a picture with a stranger who happened to be my wife on Instagram. But anyway, didn't think too much of it, right? But anyway, afterwards, I guess I was curious. So I asked my wife, so, did you know her? Why did she want to take a picture with you, right? And my wife kind of updated me. She said, no, didn't really know her, but she said she wanted to take a photo together to post on Instagram, right? And actually, as we were hanging out, around the pool, in the same area, later we saw the same girl taking pictures with some of the other people who were there on holiday, and I suspect, she was posting these pictures online to portray that, that she was having a good time on holiday, and she was meeting a lot of cool and interesting people in Dubai, right? Even though the reality was she didn't really know us, or she probably didn't really know most of the other people that she was posting pictures with. Anyway, for me, the reason why I share that with you, it's only a little story, but the reason why I share that with you is because for me, this behavior was a classic example of that influencer mentality that I mentioned earlier, right? And, that influencer mentality, the mentality that seeks to portray a certain lifestyle, over the reality, right? And maybe you can relate, right? Maybe you can relate. Maybe you've had similar experiences, or maybe you've been guilty of this behavior at some point, right? But for me, I find it really, if I'm honest, I find it really uncomfortable to be around someone who's not being fully open and fully authentic, right? If you're doing something, just for attention or just for the likes and the follows, for me, it's hard to really connect with such a person because you don't really get to see them. You just get to see the version of them that they allow you to see, whether it's online or in your interactions with them, right? And so, like I said earlier, in my opinion, you want to move away from that influencer mentality and actually become a person of real influence, a person who can, I guess, inspire people or create change that allows people to be more or to do more, right? And I guess at this point you might be thinking, okay, yeah, that's interesting, but what does real influence look like, right? And here's my thoughts on it. So I'm going to share two points that you might want to consider if you're looking to develop real influence versus being an influencer, right? And so the first point is first point is actually the one I just mentioned. So it's about authenticity. It's about honestly just being genuine, right? Just be you. No one else can be you. And this platform, is about storytelling, right? And most people will agree that people connect with you better when they can feel the essence of who you really are, when they can connect with all the different parts of your story, and not just through the Instagram filters and highlights, right? So that'll be my first tip, or my first point will be, to develop real influence, then be authentic, be genuine, be you, right? And how can you actually do this practically? For me, little things like just taking a real interest in the people that you meet, right? Remember their names, remember their stories, right? These little things, they may seem little, but they go such a long way in building meaningful relationships. And this is applicable both in your business or in your personal life, your romantic life. Just taking that true and honest and authentic, building that authentic connection with somebody is honestly the best way to go to be a person of influence and to be a person who can develop meaningful relationships, right? And then the second point, on developing that quote unquote real influence, right? And in my view, I think this is even more important than the first point. And it's simply, again, just to believe in yourself, right? Believe in yourself. You do not need anyone to come along and validate you. You don't even need validation from your job. You don't need validation from the internet. That girl, that young lady who came and took the selfie with my wife, she didn't really need that validation from Instagram. I'm sure she would have found ways of having a good time in Dubai without feeling the need of creating or portraying a certain lifestyle to her social media followers, right? And how do you do this? When believing in yourself, I believe, starts with knowing yourself. And knowing yourself, a big part of that is reconnecting with your values, right? And the values are the things that are intrinsically ingrained in you, the things that are really, that are really and truly important to you. And, for example, if you have values around, spending time with family, or values around helping others, or, freedom to travel, or even making music, cooking, making people happy, if these are your values, then for me, the way I would practically apply it is to think about that next choice, that next phone call that you're about to make, that next action you're about to take, that next social media post, right? Are you acting from a place of, from a place that is based on your values, or are you acting based on some other reason, like, validation, right? Yeah, or to put it a different way, are you doing this thing for internal reasons, which are your values, or are you doing it for external validation, right? Think about that. And by the way, to all my friends who, or people who are influencers, and you might be listening to this right now, honestly, there is nothing personal. I think, being an influencer there's nothing wrong with it at all. I think the heart of what I'm sharing here is, don't seek to be an influencer. Seek to be influential, right? Seek to be that change, to create those spaces for people to really connect with you and to really develop, meaningful relationships within your network, right? So I'm not coming for anyone. I'm not coming for anybody's necks. I encourage you to live your best life, whether you consider yourself an influencer or otherwise, live your life in the way that is pleasing to you. But just remember that it has to come from you. So be authentic. Let it be you, right? Don't do it for any external reasons, right? And so that's it, guys. Just continue, seeking, to have that impact, seeking that influence, that real influence, right? And also seek to inspire, right? Seek to be a positive, to leave positive vibes and to carry positive vibes or a positive aura in any room that you step into, right? And that's all for today, guys. But stay safe, stay blessed, and I look forward to catching up with you this time next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And by the way, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or some other kind of app and you got some value from today's episode, then I'd absolutely love if you could drop me a quick review. Until next time.